All right, let us say hello and a welcome back to the man who on Saturday after UFC 286, UFC President Dana White revealed that he will be next for the UFC welterweight title. It's been over a year since he's been with us, and days after the big announcement, Colby Chaos Covington back here on MMA Fighting. Colby, how are you, my man? Thank you for doing this.
I'm doing great, Mike. It's good to talk to a real journalist, not like some of those groupie fanboys that they have over at MMA Fighting. Some real journalism, a guy I respected since the beginning. So, it's a beautiful thing. We're gonna have a great talk today, and it's not gonna be, it's a real journalism talk. These guys are groupie fanboys. They don't even have a real journalism degree, and they call themselves journalists. They're nothing more than groupies to have their opinions.
Well, you have obviously inspired a lot of debate and opinions, and perhaps controversy is a word that some people would use, but here we are. We're getting ready for a fight week. It is just a normal fight week, right? We have the media day and the press conference, and then Friday rolls around and the official weigh-ins are going on. And I wake up bright and early to get my kid ready for school. And what do I see? I jump on Twitter and I see that you have weighed in, and it is going bananas. This thing is going nuts, and nobody saw this coming. So when were you aware that this is a thing? Because there's kind of different conversations and different reports, who knew, who didn't. But when were you made aware? How did this all come to be?
So I was made aware Tuesday night. They called me like 9-10 p.m. I got a call with Hunter Campbell, and he confirmed that I was going to be the official backup. If anybody pulled out, bad weight cut, anything, that I would step in to fight for the world championship, which rightfully so, because I am the number 2 fighter in the world. So I'm the next man up, the next contender to fight, the real people's champ, King of Miami, Donald Trump's favorite fighter, but that's a different story. But, so I was made aware Tuesday night. I got on a flight Wednesday morning, didn't get to London until Thursday morning, had one day to cut the weight. I was 18 pounds over because I was indulging, I was enjoying my foods, enjoying my time off, hanging out with the president, Donald Trump, and having a good time. So I wasn't really thinking about fighting. I was lifting weights, like trying to put on some weight and stay heavy so, I could compete with these cheaters. So, it was a beautiful opportunity, but it just showed how much of a professional I am, Mike, that I'm ready to go anytime, anywhere, anyone. And the UFC knows that.
I didn't think you were going to hesitate, but was there any like conversation need to be had? Was there like, can I call you back? I'll probably do it, but let me just make sure. Or was this before you hung up with Hunter? I'm in, book me a flight and I'm on it.
Not even before I hung up with him. He knew as soon as he called, there was no hesitation at all. I said, absolutely. Let's freaking do this. This is going to be the greatest storyline ever. I prepared my whole life for this moment. It's not just one training camp, 2 training camp. It's the work I put in my whole entire life, Mike, the blue collar work ethic that I've gotten to the grindstone, and I've hammered away at it. So, there wasn't any hesitation. As soon as Hunter called, they said, absolutely, let's do it. When's the first flight I can get out? And he said, in the morning, Wednesday morning, and get to London Thursday, and we got a day to cut the weight. So, I proved to the UFC, how valuable I am, how much of a professional I am, and how much of, if something goes wrong, I'm here to save the day. I've been willing to fight the biggest and best fights in this company, as they've said that, he's accepted everybody and wants to fight everybody in the world. So, it's just, there was no hesitation right away. I told Hunter, let's do this, man. I can't wait. It was going to be a great storyline.
Yeah. Cause we hadn't seen you since your last fight, and here we are just out of nowhere. We haven't really heard from you at all. And then, just being back in the machine in London, and there were some rumblings that maybe you would be there, but nobody actually knew for sure until John Anik actually said your name and you stepped on the scale and you're 170 on the nose. What's going through your mind as you were getting ready to walk out there? Are you like, oh, about to surprise some people right now? What were you thinking?
Man, honestly, I felt at peace. There was no pressure on me. No one even knew what was going on because, like my friend Little Wayne says, real G's move in silence like lasagna. So I was moving in silence. I don't have to eat my sandwich, then take a picture every time I'm doing something. I move in silence, and my success makes the noise. So, there was no pressure. It felt amazing, man. Like I've never been that confident going into a fight week that I was going to win the world title. Like I felt so prepared. I'm finally coming into my prime physically and mentally, and I feel better than ever. And it just, honestly, the feelings were just no pressure, and I was about to be the world champion.
Yeah, and it was like the best kept secret in MMA because it's so hard to keep these secrets. And even Dana was like surprised that it even got the buzz because he said they normally don't even announce the backups, and that his own kid even called him. Was like, what the hell is Colby doing out there waiting for a title fight? So it was just very weird. And just the buzz behind it was massive because everybody was talking about it. And they say it in pro wrestling, and you used a rap lyric, but in pro wrestling, they say we can't miss you if you don't leave. And it seems like for good or for bad, people freaking miss you. So were you surprised how much attention you just stepping on a scale got on Friday?
No, not at all. This is the culmination of years of hard work and sacrifice and blood, sweat, and tears. So, the people, like you said, how can someone miss someone if you don't go away? So I went away. I put in my hard work in silence. I've been ready to fight everybody in the world, and I've accepted every fight they've offered, which is why I was put in that position as the backup fighter, ready to fight for the world title, because I've taken everything they've offered. And it's not my fault that didn't happen. It's not my fault that dog-faced motherfucker cum shot, missed weight by 9 pounds, and he's making a joke and mockery of my division. Like, you weren't even close, dude. You had the PI, you had millions of dollars of doctors and marketing and all this stuff put into you, and you're making a mockery. You're laughing on the scale. You're 9 pounds over. You had the easiest fight in the division. And they were building that up. You win that fight, you were going to get daddy. You were going to get the man, the king of the division, Colby Chaos Covington. But you couldn't do that. You were scared. And no, you never fucking were offered a fight with me. That's fucking bullshit. You're lying. You're lying on your religion. You're a fucking joke. And you're lucky you're not in my division anymore. Now you have no say. The boss, Dana White, Uncle Ari Emanuel, Uncle, Hunter Campbell, those guys are in charge. They're not going to let you fight at 170 anymore. You missed weight by 9 pounds. It wasn't even close. And then he's laughing.
So he was offered to you, because I know Dana was trying to make that fight since like the Jacksonville card this past April. That was one of the ones on his mind. I wanted to do a big July card, ABC with you and Hamzat. Belal Muhammad has also mentioned that that your name came up to him as well. So when you say that you've said yes to everybody, like, are those the two names that you were offered, or were there other names in play as well?
No, that's funny. I was never offered cum shot. He's lying through his fucking teeth, dude. I was ready to fight him. I accepted the UFC. They called and approached me. I said, absolutely, yes, right away. Let's do this. I'm going to end his hype. He's got no cardio. It's easy fight for me. I told that to Dana White and Hunter Campbell, and they knew right away I was ready to fight, which is why I'm in this position. He was the unprofessional fucking idiot, dog-faced looking motherfucker that couldn't make weight. They gave you a layup. They gave you the soy boy, Nate Diaz, a guy that's done fighting. He's washed up. The easiest fight. And you couldn't make the weight, and you weren't even close. You're freaking 9 pounds over. The guy's freaking trying to cut 40, 50 pounds to get to our weight class. I mean, it's a joke, dude. If I do that, I'd be fighting Henry Cejudo and Sean O'Malley. Like, but I don't need to be a weight bully. I fight at my natural weight. So it's just a fucking joke. And Belal Muhammad. Oh, let's talk about Belal Muhammad, Mike. You're talking about the racist, right? You're not talking Belal. You're talking the racist. That guy is so beyond racist. Like, everything he does is racist. The guy's a freaking joke. He's saying I'm in this position because of my skin color, because I'm white. Mike, that's clear racism. I announced that the UFC and ESPN need to cut him from the panel. They can't have a racist on their show. And you know who's hanging out and associated with that racist? John Anik. John Anik, supports that racism. So it's a freaking joke. And John Anik's supposed to be impartial, Mike. He's supposed to be impartial. He's supposed to have that headset. He's supposed to be an interviewer and remain impartial. Don't be a cheerleader. You want to be a cheerleader. Let down the headset, pick up the pom-poms, go on the side, be a cheerleader. So you wanted to lick my freaking balls in London. Oh, Kobe, this. But then you want to go back behind the stage and cheerlead for a racist. So he associates with racism and Belal Muhammad. And, John Anik, dude, I don't want your kids to grow up without a dad. Just realize you live in Boca. I live in Miami, motherfucker. You're not too far from me. So you better shut your fucking mouth. You poke the bear. Now you get the bear comes after you.
Jeez, was not ready for that. But let's kind of go back to this past weekend if we could, because like I said, you stole a lot of the headlines coming in, and then you stole like all of the headlines coming out, because like I said earlier, Dana White steps up to the podium after the main event, says you're next in line for Leon, defeats Kamaru Usman in the main event via majority decision. Did you know that announcement was coming? I mean, we saw the video of you jumping up and down when they announced the winner, and then Leon kind of no-sold you in the cage. But had you and Dana, had you and Hunter, had you guys already had that discussion that if Leon wins this fight, you're next?
Absolutely. We had the discussion. They came out to me before the fight even started in the arena, and Hunter told me, hey, you're next if Leon wins. And which is why I was there in the first place. I'm the number 2 guy in the world. I'm next in line for the world title. I'm actually the biggest draw. Not only am I the next in line as the contender to fight for the world championship, I'm the biggest draw in the numbers for this division. I'm the welterweight king. There's no king. Leon's not the king. He's a placeholder for me, for daddy. And the numbers showed, Mike. You look at the numbers out throughout the weekend. All I did was weigh in, and I was the biggest draw. Like millions and millions of views. Those guys didn't attract shit. Both those guys can't draw money with a green crown and a white piece of paper. They don't draw flies to shit. They're unoriginal, no charisma. Both of them are a fucking joke. And let me tell you one thing, Mike, that I want to say to Leon, that mumbling fucking idiot. Such a fucking clown. First off, to Leon, let me take off these glasses for this. Leon, this is the only piece of advice that I'm ever going to give you. Only, because next you're going to get your ass whooped. There's a saying that goes on, Leon, and shut your fumbling mouth. Listen, open your freaking stupid ears and listen to the advice I give, because it's the only advice I'm going to give to you, Leon. You don't cross your boss, and you will learn the hard way. Remember that, Leon. That's the only advice I'm giving you. You don't cross your boss.
So I assume perhaps that is coming from earlier today. He did an interview on the MMA Hour, and he said, if they offer me the fight, I'm not going to take it. And I actually have this ready to go. His exact quote was, I definitely have a say. Listen, he ain't getting a title shot next fight. Look at the road I had to take to get there. There's no way you're getting beat twice by the guy that I just beat twice. Went out, won a fight, then sit out for a year and a half, not even tweeting or nothing, just go missing for a year, and then randomly pops up at the weigh-ins. And it's like, okay, he's fighting for the title next. It makes no sense at all. So let's see how it plays out. He has to go out there and earn his way like I had to do. Hamzat and me were calling each other out for years. This is a guy that I got matched up with 3 times in a row. I took the Chimaev fight. Covington didn't take the fight, and he's getting rewarded for not taking the fight. When it was me, I got removed from the rankings. So Dana White privilege is definitely real. I assume that's the quote that you're responding to.
Yes, Mike. And let me say to Leon, good luck with that, Junior. Good luck with that. First off, you don't make the calls. You haven't even defended the title. Like, you fought a shell of his former self from Usman, who obviously was doing too much filming for Wakanda Is Forever for the Black Panther movie, that he wasn't focused, and he's just past the hill. He's 1 foot out, 1 foot in. You see he's saying in interviews he wants to retire. So, it was the wars that added up from me. And good job, Leon. You beat Usman. I beat him too in Madison Square Garden last November. So, we did the same exact thing. So, it's just funny, man. Like, all the fucking fans are trying to go after Dana. Dana, no, you can't let him get a title shot. Dude, you think Dana's going to listen to all these fucking pathetic journalists? They're not even journalists. They're fucking groupies, like I said. You think Dana's going to listen to them when he was trying to get him canceled? Like, all these journalists wanted to get Dana canceled for the Power Slap League, which, by the way, Power Slap is doing phenomenal jobs, crazy ratings. So good job to Dana and the UFC on that. But they're trying to get him canceled for that. You think Dana's going to listen to some of these fucking idiot so-called journalists? Like, it's just fucking hilarious, dude. Like, everybody knows who the draw is. My haters have to accept it now. And the reason they're so mad, Mike, is because all my haters know I'm about to come undisputed champion of the world. And it's the reason Leon's looking for easy fights. He knows he's going to get beat by me, and he's afraid.
What did you actually think of the fight? Like, because you were cage-side for it. And, like we said, we saw your reaction. You were excited that he won. We were doing our watch party, so I haven't actually gone back and rewatched the fight. But watching it live with like 800 things going on around me, I scored it the same way the 2 judges who scored it for Leon scored it, 48-46. I gave him 1, 4, and 5. I gave 2 to Usman. 3 was a 9-9 because of the fence grab and the point being taken, which I'm so excited to see a referee actually take a point, because we've been talking about this for years. Coaches should have fighters like grabbing fences during training because the referees never call it. Herb Dean takes the point. That's beside the point. It's a whole other conversation we could have. But how did you score it watching it live? Did you score it the same, or did you score it a draw?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't scoring it, but, it was clear that Leon won. But he's the biggest fucking cheater in all the fucking sport, dude. He comes out there, he pokes him in the eye, he hits him in the nuts. He freaking, grabs the fence, and then he grabs the fence, and Herb Dean stops it and takes the point away. And then he tries to deny it to Herb and the world, like the whole world didn't just see it. That's how fucking dumb Leon Scott is. He's not a fucking champion. He's a placeholder, and there's a reason for that. Like, the guy doesn't know how to do business. There's a reason he's not a draw and no one cares. So, he won the fight, but there was a shell of his former self. And it's funny because there was multiple people who were like, dude, that's not the same Usman. Like, he's 2 feet out the door now. Like, he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out before. He's completely out. He's cashed out. He's made his money. He's not hungry anymore. So, Leon, it wasn't anything special, that's for sure. But all the cheating going on, fucking what a joke, dude. Edward Scissorhands, Leon Scott, man, poking in the eye, freaking, nut grab, fucking grabbing the fucking gloves, grabbing the gloves up against the cage. Like that's why they took a point away, because he was grabbing the gloves like multiple times in the first round. And then he goes and fucking grabs the fence with 2 hands. Like, the guy's a fucking cheater. And Leon Scott, let me tell you, you can grab the fence all you want when we fight. It's not going to make a difference. You're getting fucking smoked. You're getting exposed. and I'm going to become the undisputed champion. I'm already the people's champion. I'm already America's champion. I'm already fucking Donald Trump's favorite fighter. I'm already the king of Miami. So now it's time to come back and take over my division again.
So I host a show. It's like 3 days a week on our Twitter feed, and people ask about you all the time. And this wasn't particularly about you, but there's a lot of like, what's next hypothetical questions that came into the fight. Like, what if Kamaru wins? Like, who gets the next shot? What if Leon wins? Who gets the next shot? And a lot of newer fans gave me a bunch of crap because I said that do not be surprised if Colby Covington is in play, because that's just the way it works. Like, this is how the UFC has done it for a long time. And obviously Belal is out there. He's been unbeaten over 9 fights, hasn't lost it over 4 years. He's got a case.
The racist. You're talking about the racist, right? Unbeaten against nobodies. He hasn't fucking been in a marquee fight on a pay-per-view, headlining against top 5 guys. He's beating prospects. He's beating, guys outside the top 5s. Nobodies. Like, he's beating washed up guys. Like, he's a fucking nobody. He was melted by Vicente Luke, melted by, Jeff Neal, melted by a nobody, Alan Joban, and some other people. The guy's a nobody. There's a reason he's not in this position. He's complaining. He's a racist, first off. All he does is spill racism. Is fucking disgusting. But besides being a racist, he hasn't earned this right, Mike. This is not a sport. This is not a game. This is the ultimate entertainment business. This is about making money for the company, the UFC. That's what I've done continuously, time in and time in and out. I stayed ready for the moment, won world championship, done big business for this company. I'm in this position, the next ranked contender in the world, for a reason. Like, there's a reason I was the backup fighter, because I've accepted every single fight they've offered, and I've stayed ready on a moment's notice to fight anybody in the world.
Now, there was a time, Colby, when we started doing interviews where you were having a tough time getting these big fights, and you were holding freaking signs out in the street asking for these fights, and you just gave Leon Edwards some advice, and now Belal Muhammad is in not the same kind of situation, but a similar type of situation, because even if he fights Shavkat Rakhmonov, which is the fight they're apparently targeting for Belal, there is still no guarantee he gets a title shot. That's just the nature of the division and kind of the nature of the business right now. So what is your advice to Belal Muhammad? Because he's obviously not happy about this. And if we're looking at this from a meritocratic perspective, you can't really blame him.
Can't blame him, Mike. He hasn't done anything to earn anything against big fights. The racist Belal Muhammad should go out there and stop spewing racism. That's what he should do. And he should go out there and make himself likable and become a star. He's not a star. He's a nobody, dude, because, the guy's spewing racism. He's spilling hate out there. Like, that's not what this country needs right now. We need fucking unity. We need fucking diversity. We need fucking to come together and not spew racism or fucking religion. Like, that has nothing to do with this. So the guy needs to go win the big fights. I don't care. We've all been on long winning streaks. I've been on long winning streaks, 7, 8, 9 fights, whatever, dude. We've all fucking done it, dude. But you need to become a star, because this is a business. This is not a game. This is the entertainment business. And shitting on Dana on the UFC and what he's doing right now, he's going the wrong route. Like I said to Leon, he should take the same advice. You don't cross the boss. It's a universal known saying. You don't cross your boss, Mike.
You said you were hoping for July to do this fight, International Fight Week. Is that the time frame that you are preparing for right now?
It's what I'm preparing for, but everybody knows now that I stay ready on a moment's notice. It could be Miami. I hope the main event in Miami falls through, all pay-per-view there. I'm the king of Miami. I do need to show up. Shout out to, the law enforcement, the K9 unit in Miami Beach, my boy Charlie Weiss, Chief Rich Clements. So, I hope I stay ready. I was ready to fight last weekend in London on a moment's notice. Either guy, didn't matter, because I know I'm the best in the world. So I can fight either style. It doesn't matter. So, I'm ready whenever. But I think now, Mike, now the way it's shaping up, International Fight Week, it's the biggest scene. It's the biggest spectacle. And they're talking about John Jones and Stipe. Who doesn't want to see me on a stage? My old buddy, old pal, John Jones. You know how funny that would be on stage at the press conference, Mike? It's perfect. It's money.
Would you be cool being the co-main event to that fight over headlining or headlining a different card with Leon?
I'm cool with the UFC knows I'm cool with whatever, co-headlining, main event, whatever they want me to do. I'm an ultimate businessman, Mike. I show up, I make weight. I never miss weight. I don't miss weight by 9 pounds like that dog face looking motherfucker cum shot. So, I make my weight, championship weight on a day's notice. literally days notice. I got out there one day to cut 18 pounds. I didn't make excuses. So I stay ready whenever, if they want me to co-main event, let's do co-main event in International Fight Week on the biggest spectacle, or whenever they want. They want it June, August, May, April, whenever the UFC wants, I'll leave that up to the big bosses. Ari Emanuel, which, by the way, he's a fantastic owner, of the UFC. Like, big shout out to Ari. I've been a big fan of him ever since Entourage. So much love to Ari, Emmanuel and Hunter Campbell and Dana White. And we'll just leave it up to the big bosses because they decide. No one else decides, not Leon, not these groupie journalists that are all fanboys that are crying in their tears, which, by the way, is absolutely hilarious, Mike. Because if you're asking how I'm doing great because all my haters are miserable right now. Miserable. It's amazing. It's a great day, Mike.
What do you think happens if Leon doesn't take the fight? What if he puts his feet in the sand and says, no, like, I need to see Colby get another win? Do you think
he gets stripped?
You think they'll strip him?
He will get stripped. He's not the draw in this division, Mike. I'm the draw. Look at the numbers from over the weekend. I didn't even fight, and my numbers powered over the main event. Those fucking nobodies, Leon Scott and Marty Fake News. But no one wants to see those guys. They're stupid. Listening to the shit they say. Leon's fumbling the whole time, mumbling out of his fucking mouth. There's no personality, no charisma. Same thing with Marty, Marty needs a belt to be relevant. He's not relevant either. Neither one of them are relevant. So for Leon to sit there and act like he's Conor McGregor, you're not Conor McGregor, bro. You don't get to call the shots, dude. Like, you're a nobody, dude. Like, shout out to Conor and what he's done. Like, he's done great things in this sport. He's the biggest draw. The things he did, unpredictable. And shout out to him, especially because of his charity that, he's giving back to first responders in America. God bless Conor, man. He's doing big things. How can you not like that and respect the guy doing that? So shout out to Conor. I mean, Conor's fucking, one of the greatest fighters of all time. And what he's done cannot be, emulated, knocking a guy out in under 10 seconds in a title fight. He's unpredictable. So you don't know what you're going to get with that guy. That guy's dangerous. Like, you can't take that guy lightly. So shout out Conor. And yeah, Leon, you haven't even defended your belt yet. Like, that wasn't even barely a title defense. You got a decision in London, which the Brits always get decisions in London when London judges are on the deck, and so it wasn't impressive. You didn't finish him, and that's a show of informer self and Marty. So sit there, Leon, fucking take what you're gonna take, because everything you work for your whole entire life's about to get taken by me, man, and you have no choice. You're not a draw. You're a fucking nobody. You're irrelevant.
What do you think of Conor saying that he wants a title fight at 170? If he beats Michael Chandler, he wants a title shot at 170. And if they make this fight between you and Leon, by the time that fight happens, it could line things up perfectly. So you come in as a guy who wasn't even supposed to fight in London. You step in, you weigh in, you watch the fight from the crowd, you get a title fight. And then once you win the belt, you could somehow find yourself fighting Conor McGregor in a gigantic red panty night kind of matchup for your first title defense. Like, everything's just kind of falling in weird places, is it not? Like, it's all coming together in such a weird way that if you fight Leon and win, you're next. I mean, you could fight freaking Conor McGregor in your first title defense the way this is all shaping up.
This is God's plan, Mike. This is destiny, man. This is the journey that I've been on, through my blue collar work ethic, through America, the kid achieving the American dream and working my butt off. When everybody doubted me, when everybody told me I wouldn't do it, now look where I'm at. It's the biggest and best fights. Like, I'm the draw. I'm the A side in the welterweight division now. Like, everybody knows it. Everybody knows who's the best fighter in the world. Is the undisputed champ. That's me. It's Colby Chaos Covington. So, it's a beautiful thing. I'm truly blessed, Mike, to be in this position and to collide with Conor. I mean, it would be the biggest title fight in the history of the company. I mean, we're talking 2 million buys, pay-per-view buys plus. I mean, it would be catastrophic. It would be incredible. It'd be the biggest business the UFC could ever do. And especially, it's a beautiful timing right before Donald Trump's going to take back the office in 2024, right before the campaign trail. So, it's just the timing of life is working out perfect. And this is God's plan, Mike. That's what I got to say. It's destiny.
Where does Kamaru Usman go from here? Because you guys have spent almost an hour in the cage together, and I'm sure at some point that's when you would like to run back one more time. You even pitched a best of 7 series between the two of you guys at one point. So where do you think he goes from this loss?
Yeah, honestly, I think he retires now. You could see it in the fight. It's not the same Marty of the past. He's just not hungry, man. He made a lot of money with the fights that he had. The George fight, the 2 fights with me that I sold because no one gave a fuck about him because You know, he doesn't have his personalities of a wet mop in the corner. So, you know, like I made the guy rich and I beat his ass in Madison Square Garden, Mike. So I don't really need anything to prove. Deep down inside, I know I proved I beat him in Madison Square Garden. Every fan knew it in the arena. They were all screaming my name. All after the fight, they all said I won at least 3-2, but a lot of them thought I won 4-1 every round except the second. He won one round out of a 5-round fight. He got beat. So deep down in my heart, I can live with that forever, Mike. I already know I beat him. So now it's on to the next order of business. It's Leon Scott, Edward Scissorhands. He's going to get destroyed this summer, International Fight Week, and it's going to be a spectacle. You know, the biggest and best business is what I do every time I step in there. You're probably going to see my friend Donald Trump at the fight, you know, coming in, putting the belt around my waist, and that's going to be that. It's going to be fucking amazing. If you think the nerd tears are flowing now, Mike, oh my gosh. All I got to say, I'm a family man. God bless you for being a father. And I just want to say, to help you and your family, like, build an arc now, because the flow is going to be catastrophic of nerd tears all over the world when I win the Undisputed Championship.
Oh, man. Well, Colby, congratulations on getting the fight. I mean, what else can I say? You showed up, you stepped on the scale, you made 170 like a pro, and you got yourself a title fight, it appears. So we'll keep an eye out for when that's actually going to happen. It's good to have you back on the scene. I think the space is much more exciting. It's a much more unique space when Colby Covington is involved. And like I said, congratulations. It was good to see you on the television screen in London, and I really appreciate you jumping on just a couple days after flying back home, my man. So thank you very much, and we'll see what happens when you get inside that octagon, fight for a world title.
Great talking to you, Mike, unlike your fake journalists, you know, colleagues that you work with, but you're a real journalist. And shout out to my dentist, you know, Chris Ramsey at Ritter Ramsey, freaking got the best smile in the game. Shout out to my boy, Luigi Girardi over at Satoria Girardi, keeping me suited and booted and fresh in all my fights. And shout out to all the people that I fight for. First responders, law enforcement, military. God bless America. God bless the Trumps. And you know, can't wait to show you what's next, Mike. You guys, I'm going to shock the world again.